Mitra, we are live.
Hello and welcome to Intech South Asia's Interactive Business Forum. Today we have with us Dr. Austin Au, the Managing Director of Ocean Lanka, who will speak on functional, fashionable, sustainable textiles for the fashion industry. With over 36 years of textile industry experience, he is responsible for achieving the coveted Blue Design System Partner status in 2019
YouTube.
and numerous sustainability innovations like the Ocean Aqua Plus sustainable dyeing system for Ocean Lanka. Focused from the beginning on the textile industry, Dr. Austin began with a higher diploma in textile chemistry from the Hong Kong Polytechnic and subsequently a master's and a doctorate from the University of Leeds in the UK. A truly globally qualified professional, I now hand over to him. Over to you, Dr. Austin.
Thank you. Thanks. So I will start my presentation. Can see my PowerPoint, right? Can everybody see my PowerPoint?
No, we are not able to see your PowerPoint.
So I need to share it. Oh. Okay. So now, can you see it?
Yes, now we can see your PowerPoint presentation.
Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. So that is my presentations on the functional, fashionable, sustainable textiles for the fractions industry. Okay. So first of all, and then everybody probably heard about the term sustainability. So what is it about? So actually, for the long history of human being, we all think about the nature is belong to us. We are the master of nature, so we can explore everything from the nature, right? The water, the air, the soil, the plants, the trees, the animals, everything, right? But actually, sustainability tell us we are wrong. Okay, so it requires us to reassess the relationship with nature. So rather than just continuously exploring it, right, we should care about it. So, and then that is why we are have to produce in a sustainable way, in an eco-friendly way, to reserve the resources in the nature, right, for us and for future generations. Sustainable textiles. So actually, they are normally made from the natural or recycled materials. The aim is to reduce the harm when we do the production, to reduce the harm, right, to the environment. So what you see in here is the life cycle. Life cycle. Everything have the life cycle. So sustainable textiles is no difference. So it starts from the raw material, the productions, the chemical and dye stuff we use, and also end of the life of the textiles. So in order to make a sustainable textiles, this life cycle have to meet certain requirements. Raw material, it has to from the natural sources or from the reused or recycled material. And also, of course, it is a pesticide-free. And in the productions, we have to use energy and water in a very, very conservative way to save energy and water in the productions. And also the discharge and the emission to the environment also need to have a very tight control manner. Chemicals, we have to use the chemicals either from the nature or even it is artificial, that they have to be harmless to human in the nature after applying in the textiles. At the end of the life cycle of any sustainable textiles, it should be biodegradable or reusable or can be recycled. So that tells us and then the unique nature of the sustainable textiles. Its life cycle have to follow this route in order to name itself it is a sustainable textile. So let's see the raw materials, the sustainable raw materials. The most common example in our textile industry is organic cotton, or another is called the Better Cotton Initiative. Organic cotton actually it is also is planting our normal cotton, but the way they plant, they have to make sure they use a special type of seeds, and also have to be chemical pesticide free during the whole planting period. And also they have to show the carbon footprint generated in this planting process has to be largely reduced. And also because there's a chemical pesticide free, so there will be no harm to the soil and the water. So at this moment, the worldwide production of the organic cotton is about 0.95%, 1%, or 1 to 2%, depends on the sources, and then you can get from the information. But you can tell it is not much. It is not much. And also majority is from India and the nearby region, the organic cotton. Better Cotton Initiative, BCI, is more a step forward, you can see, from the organic cotton, because organic cotton has been in the market for a very long time. But BCI is just happened and then for maybe less than 10 years, right? So the concept is still, they want to control, the consumption of water, chemical, fertilizer, pesticides, all these, but not in as a restrict way as the organic cotton. So you see organic cotton actually, even they have a standard called the GOTS. So anybody claim they are using organic cotton, they have to be accredited by this GOTS, the standard. So because of it is the way of the BCI, the running, so it is a more adoptable in the market. So now it is about 23% of the BCI cotton are being used in the industry. Another, the raw material more common to us, you say, for example, the recycled polyester, So basically, we know, and then the producing the polyester is also the pollution process. But by running with this recycled polyester, approximately 75% of the carbon footprint or carbon dioxide, emitted during the productions, compared with the normal polyester, 75% of carbon footprint, we can say. And if we are talking about, and then approximately every year we have 8 million tons of these plastics, or the polyester made plastics. So we can see there will be a huge amount of impact to the environment if we can use the recycled polyester rather than this normal polyester. So approximately, if we are the most common the resources for the recycled polyester is the bottles, the polyester bottles. Approximately one polyester bottle can produce about 1 pound of recycled polyester fiber. The consumption, the percentage now worldwide is about 15%. So you can see it is continuously, very stably increasing. So you may ask, okay, so this recycled cotton, recycled, this the organic cotton, recycled polyester, if it is so good to the environment, why their market is not dominate in our productions? Why they are still just a very little amount compared with the traditional polyester and also the traditional cotton? It is not dominant in the market. So I will answer this question later on. Another, the sustainable, the raw material, of course, it is a bamboo. It is a rayon because it is a regenerated the cellulose. So that's why I have the name rayon. So basically, and we also use the similar technology as the production of the rayon, and then we dissolve the bamboo, and then make it, and then into fiber. So compare the bamboo fiber with the cotton fiber, you see, and then their physical properties. Bamboo fiber is in many ways is better than the cotton fiber. Strength more or less the same. The elongation you can see this about 3 times better than the normal cotton. Right? The short fiber index is less, and also and then the uniformity is better. So on the upper high, the mean length is about 38 millimeter, about 3.8 centimeter. So it is a much better, much longer than the normal cotton fiber. It's only about 2.9 cm. Right? And the moisture content is also a little bit better. And also the air permeability is not worse than the normal cotton. So that's why the bamboo fiber actually has a huge market value. And also it is sustainable. In the productions, we will see how to name a production is sustainable. So we should have a clean emission and discharge during the production process. And also, and then the right to consume the water in a more controlled manner. All the resources, including the energy, all this, and then we have to optimize the steam, electricity, all this. And of course, and then normally we use the renewable energies if we can, right? Like those the solar energy or the wind energy or the hydro energy, all this. But it depends on the countries, right? Not every country can use this kind of renewable energies. But traditionally, we are still using the coal or the furnace oil. But the biomass is a kind of a renewable energy. So there are more and more production is turning themselves to use the biomass, the steam boiler. Right? So with all these input in the production, then we can say the production has minimized the impact to the environment. Right? Then we can say that we are fulfilling the sustainable production requirement. In Ocean Lanka, as in the introduction, actually, we have successfully patented a process called the Ocean Aqua. Ocean Aqua. This system is actually we are successfully to save the consumption of water, consumption of dyestuffs, consumption of chemicals, and also the energy. This process helps us to save 40% of our carbon footprint, 58% of water reduced, and also we can save 36% of our energy, and also and then our chemical dyestuff, the additives, 30% save. That is natural because when we use less water, of course, those auxiliaries, all this can also be saved and dyestuff. Yeah. So this is our success experience, and we already get the patent already from Ocean Lanka. But there is a pros and cons because to achieve these sustainable productions that we have the developed in here, of course we have a huge amount of save, right, in water, energy, all this, and then right. So we can name ourselves. We have a sustainable production route. Actually, these have to be achieved by a more modernized machines, and also we need to use more expensive dyestuff and chemicals, and also and then have the other supporting the process. So at the end, if you think actually we are saving by production in this sustainable way, but I can give you actually it is not. Actually, we have to pay more. the cost of this sustainable production actually it costs us more. But of course, in return, we can say we are sustainable. The company can save the environment. So this has been adopted by the BOI of Sri Lanka, and then this news, and then is announced in the BOI homepage. These four gentlemen is our team, and then with their support, they are from the laboratory, the productions, and also and then the planning unit, and then all this, and then work together to have this program success. It's a process, Ocean Inc. Chemical and dyestuffs. Of course, and then the first thing come to the mind is the natural dye stuff, right? Because this is available in everywhere. It is in the vegetables, from the insects, from the animals, or other biological sources such as fungi. So we can extract colors from all these natural resources, right? And also, and then you will see actually they are very colorful. Actually, the color is actually the color gamut is not less than the artificial one, but of course it has its defect. Natural dye stuff. You compare the natural dye stuff with synthetic dye stuff, you will see natural dye stuff normally, right? The dyeing process actually is a little bit longer than the normal dye stuff, and then dyeing cost is also higher. Reproducibility is very poor. Normally, if you want to have a good continuity from one batch to the other batch, it's very difficult. Large-scale productions, because of the supply and also and then the lengthy production process, all this, and then it is not recommended. So normally, and then most of natural dye stuff are in the homemade for the natural dyeing. Light fastness is also no good. Color yield, normally you need to use a much more concentration of natural dye stuff to achieve the color. And also the bad thing is the fastness is very poor. So sometimes you need to use the Modan to improve the fastness. Right? The Modan is heavy metals, so it is not environmental friendly actually. But good thing is it is biodegradable and reusable. The natural dye bulb, and then you can use more than one time. And normally, and then if you are using the synthetic dye bulb, normally we can only use one time, then we have to drain it. When we drain it, still a lot of residue dye stuff is still in the dye bulb, right? So there's a pros and cons. So that's why you will see, and then this kind of sustainable way of production also have their drawback. For the eco-friendly chemicals, actually, there are so many third parties, and then we can ask for help. If you want to know what chemicals are eco-friendly, I think the most common, and then you know, is the RSL, MRSL, this kind of the restricted substance list or material restricted substance list. Normally, we provide to you by your buyer, or you can easily get from them. But of course, some third party, that is GOTS, CDHC, REACH, Big Index, the Blue Dye Partnership, Blue Dye System, and also SAC and Ocotex. All these are already very well established third party, and then I think most of you, at least you may have one or two or even more of this accreditation from them. Because nowadays all the buyer request us and then to get a certificate from either one of these kind of third party bodies, get their certificate. And then they will tell you which chemical you can use, which chemical you cannot use, which chemicals are harmful, or what level, what percentage of chemical you can use. Easily you can get the information. So end of life, and then of course we have to recycle. The most common way is actually use a mechanical way to recycle our textiles. So we get those the cut pieces or the old fabrics, old garment, we cut into pieces mechanically. And after that, and then we extract the fiber from the fabric, also mechanically, and then use the fiber and then spun into the yarn again. But of course, and then we are talking about the cotton. If it is polyester, and then it is a little bit different. But the recycled cotton, actually the property is not that worse. In average, it still have the 2 cm fiber length, and also the cost is lower compared with you are buying the cotton yarn. And also most of them already have a color in there. You can directly get the dyed yarn, to dye the fiber and dye the yarn, right? But of course, and then I will assume, right, most of those the top brand, right, they will not use this kind of fiber, because normally there are more demand, more requests on the exactly what color they want from the designer. So this and then right may not be find the market in the current market. Mechanically, right, and then we dissolve the fiber, and after that, and then right, use the normal like the regenerated fiber, the process, and then to produce the viscose from the cotton. Or we can also produce the recycled polyester with a similar manner. Okay. So for this chemical recycled cellulosic fiber, the cotton, actually the lancing and also this bare cellulose, it's already have quite a large scale production already, right? And then they're already running this kind of chemical recycling process of the cotton, and also selling in the market. And then these, I think, they get a better color than the mechanical, the recycled textiles. This is the example. From the jean, you can convert into the fiber like this. And then you can also get the accreditation, right? The global recycle standard. The last one is actually some brand, for example, H&M, they also have a fund some sustainable the production, sustainable the process. And actually, it has this H&M Foundation has a joint research with the Hong Kong, the RITA. Hong Kong RITA is under the Hong Kong Polytechnic, also funded by the Hong Kong government. And then to study on this and then to produce and also to reuse the textile, right? So they have one machine called the green machine. Green machine, it is the producer in this project, and then they can help to use the chemical way, and then to recycle the cotton, the waste the cotton. So that's all for my presentation. Have give a very rough idea about what is sustainable textiles and also the pros and cons. And also, I now to need to answer my question, and then why the sustainable raw material like the recycled polyester, like the BCI cotton or the organic cotton, why it is not the dominant market? The main thing is actually they have a higher cost in the productions, and also actually their property, most of them is also not as good as the original one. Say for example, the organic cotton, because it is not using the pesticides normally, and then it need to the harvesting is also need to use labor-intensive harvesting, so that's why it is more so costly, and also more contamination in the cotton. So actually, it is not very well, right? Adopted by the empire, of course, and then right they want it, but at the same time they also don't want the poor quality in the fabric. There are more contamination, all this. So it is a contrast to each other, sustainability, and also and then what the end buyer want. Actually, to me, I feel it is a little bit contradict to each other. So that's why it is not still not very common. Of course, we know it is good. Actually, the market, right? It is not very supportive. I would say, yeah, to use this kind of sustainable material. Yeah. So that's the end of my presentation. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Dr. Austin, for that deep dive into the current situation with regards to recycling and sustainability. Actually, we have a very interesting question from someone which just takes it forward what you just mentioned a couple of minutes back. So the question is, South Asia already operates on very thin margins. So what do manufacturers need to do to adapt to this new trend in a profitable manner?
Yeah, that is the challenge. That's a challenge. A good question. That's a challenge to every fabric manufacturer, every the dye house in the supply chain. Yeah, we know. Yeah, actually, that is the end buyer. They want right this kind of sustainable process all this, and then so that they can market it, and then right to please the consumer or the government body or whatever, something like that. But as I said, the contrast thing is actually by doing this, actually we need to invest more in terms of machinery, process all this, and then we need to use more the expensive chemicals, all this, and then actually if the end buyer they are more happy to share the cost of this sustainable way of production, of course, and then I would say it is more easy for us to success. Otherwise, and then because they also request us to apply a lot of this kind of certificate accreditation, it is very expensive.
Correct.
Every year we need to pay. Actually, and then they are not interested to share with these kind of courses. That's the problem.
So basically, along with recycling and sustainability, we would also need to have a lot of cooperation to really ensure that the industry moves forward. And the only way to really move forward is by moving forward together. So a very good point made by Dr. Austin. And ladies and gentlemen, we are out of time for the Q&A session. I wish to thank Dr. Austin for taking time to present at the Intex South Asia Interactive Business Forum. And I also thank everyone for attending this seminar. Thank you, everyone. Goodbye, and have a great day. Thank you, Dr. Austin.
Bye-bye. You're welcome. Thank you. Goodbye. Thanks.
Goodbye.